It's May 9th, 2022. I am now calling the joint special call Budget and Finance Committee meeting and special call Committee of the whole meeting to order. Counselors, have you had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a motion?
I move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes from the last meeting have been passed. Counselors, are there any items you would like to place on consent agenda?
Yes.
Counselor Abbott?
Item on page 2, items 5 and 6. On page 3, items 8 and 9. On page 4, item 12. On page 5, item 15 and 16. And that's all for me.
And Madam President, do you have items you would like to place on consent?
Yes, I wanted to know if you would consider placing item number 7, since it's discretionary funding, should consider allowing that, or do you want to?
If somebody can tell why we're training coaches and data managers, what are we training them to do?
Isn't that for Council Woods? Yeah. That's for the recruitment for high school football players. Gives them a chance to do a showcase of their talent to be recruited for college football.
Okay, well, I was just curious about the combination of coaches and data managers. That seems
Well, you need the
disparate.
stats when you get recruited by sports. The better your stats are, the better.
Oh, okay.
That's if
Okay,
you're-
well, then 7 can go on consent.
Thank you.
I just didn't, I thought that sounded strange.
We're going through that with my niece, so. Okay. Madam President, do you have any other items?
That was the only one I want to add it.
Okay, so we have items 5, 6, and 7 on page 2, items 8 and 9 on page 3, item 12 on page 4, and items 15 and 16 on page 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Was there a motion?
I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The consent agenda passes. If your item was placed on the consent agenda, you are free to go. Okay, the first item is item 4 on page 1. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an order under the city's master services and purchasing agreement with Exxon Enterprise Incorporated, approved by the council of the city of Birmingham on February 15, 2022. Resolution 263-222, under which the city of Birmingham will acquire Exxon devices and services detailed in quote Q-36158-44662.64BF, such as body cameras for use by the Birmingham Police Department, utilizing a United States Department of Justice grant in the amount of $276,000 and a city match of $264,000 with said products and services to be delivered to the city on or before September 30th, 2022.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, Chief.
We had an employment assignment, and so then I had was a police assistant chief, Matt here. Was before you just a renewal of the company that was by the council already.
I did have just one question.
Yes, Councilor Abbott.
Yeah, I wanted to know, it says acts on devices and services such as body cameras, but it doesn't say we're buying body cameras, so what do we think we're buying? Is this we're gonna buy what we need when we need it, or?
The body cameras, I believe. It's also still counts as a cloud-based subscription. So it's something that upload all the information. Come off ship and come on ship. It's really, it's always.
Okay, so it's just very much the same thing that they were doing before. We're not getting anything new. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. There's been a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 passes. Next item is item number 10. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a redevelopment agreement with L. Williams and Associates LLC in substantially the same form as on file in the office of the city clerk. under which the city will convey to L. Williams and Associates property known as the Cash Connection / Western Union Building located at 2119 Fifth Avenue, North Birmingham, for a use value of $250,000 for use as a professional counseling and psychological rehabilitation facility under section 24-2-6 of the Code of Alabama 1975, which allows the city to make land in a redevelopment project available for use by private enterprises as use value, which represents the value at which the city determines such land should be made available in order that it may be redeveloped for the purposes specified.
Move the item.
Second.
Hey,
Good afternoon, councilors. We have Ms. LaForest Williams, the small minority-owned business owner that's had this mental health therapy facility that will be repurposing the old Cash Connection building that's been sitting there for many years in blighted area right on that corner of Fifth Avenue north. So what she would like to do is to expand her business. She's already renting the property. In this way, she wants to have her own ownership and be able to expand her services. I have Ms. Williams here. She can kind of give you a little information if that's okay, tell you a little bit more about her business and answer any questions.
Okay.
I am Lavoris Williams. I am the owner of Elwins and Associates. I've been in practice since 2006 in the Birmingham area. Initially, the Frank Nelson Building, and now occupy the premises 404 15th Street North, and I've been there since 2014. If we're not selling, so I've been wanting to get my own practice, and we do a therapy for earliest ages as 2. I'm a play therapist as well, registered play therapist supervisor, where I not only train play therapists, but licensed professional counselors as well. I have different connections with the schools, colleges, where I train their students as well to get their license, as well as non-licensed people that want to be licensed as well. So we do from group therapy, trauma. I have different partnership with, I guess, some big size organizations. We do physical and sexual abuse therapy as well, from the mental illness altogether with my practice.
Madam President?
yes, well, thank you very much. We know this is Mental Health Awareness Month, so very excited to see any expansion or current services that will be provided in the city of Birmingham. Now, so this building is currently, it's not located, no one's in this building.
No, it's been vacant for a long time.
Okay, so then how many staff would you be bringing and what type of resources?
Right now, I have a total of 8 independent contractors, which is, then I have 4, as you'll say, full-time staff administrative. And then I have I think 4 intern students that it's going to be coming on as soon as they finish their hours with me.
Thank you. Sounds like a great repurposing of the building. Like you said, it has been sort of eyesore for a number of times. Thank you. That's my only question.
Counselor Abbott?
Yes, I wanted to know if we have an appraisal of the property.
We do, we did an appraisal back in 20, so I can send that. How far send it to you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could just get them when you send the item in, and then I wouldn't have to ask.
Okay. But some of them we don't do, but this one we have an appraisal on for sure, and I can share that with everybody today.
Well, and I was interested in knowing how the city of Birmingham ended up with this location. I'm always curious how these obscure buildings are owned by the
That
city.
was way before my time. I think the city's had this building for a while, but I'm not sure if one of the attorneys may know how we acquired this building.
Well, obviously not an attorney who's here, unless,
I know the city's had it for a long time.
okay, and what is the condition of the building? Is it in good
No,
condition?
ma'am.
Or is it falling apart? Does it have holes in the roof? I mean, is she gonna have to spend $1 million to fix it?
She's had some contractors come in and kind of give her an estimate, roughly about $500,000 almost to
Whether,
The three to 500 to make it to
yeah,
fix it.
about 3.
It's-
Yeah, it's gotta be gutted.
And
No, it doesn't look nice, but
It's
you
gotta be gutted.
know, we know how good we are at maintaining what we own, and so, I was just curious to know what it's going to take
Yeah,
for you to actually get into business in there.
but my last estimate was 233,000. But, that was like on the lower end, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna take a little more than that based on what I'm trying to do with it.
Okay. And so that's the reason for the use value, because, okay, gotcha.
right, and that's in line with going with the price.
Okay.
With the base.
Okay, thank you.
I think was there a motion?
Yes.
And there's been a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the item passes. Next item. Item 11, a novation agreement between MAB-RGA Lake Shore Pavilion LP and Exchange Right Essential Income Strategy Properties 3 LLC, under which exchange right will be substitute for MAB-RGA Lake Shore as the developer under the project agreement for the Lake Shore Publix project. Is there a motion?
I move approval.
Second.
Aye.
Jim Standings here to explain that. This is a simple purchase agreement. It's common for small types of after they buy the center. This is Lake Shore. To sell to larger, but the center itself is doing very. Lake Shore, the purchaser is a Pasadena, California-based operation. They have 24 lease holdings totaling $91 million in lease investment in 13 states. Readings from there, before I turn it over to Jim, purchasing shopping centers and operating shopping centers is a long time thing that they do. And as a matter of fact, from their mission statement, they say they are a grocery anchored shopping center with investment grade or equivalent credit grocery anchors, strong operations, store sales, and strong retail locations. So they look for good, strong operating locations, and they found them. This is, I think, our first one in Alamance.
Okay.
Mr. Laster, Jim Stanley from the Office of City Attorney. Mr. Laster, I think, explained what we're doing properly. The city had an agreement in 2017 with the developer of that shopping center. They did complete the development, opening the center, and it's operating. We did an amendment in 2020 to extend the payment term on account of the COVID slowdown. The original entity was a developing entity. They dig the ground and put the building up. The new entity is not a developer. They're an investor and a manager. So as Mr. Laster said, they are involved in managing centers like this and do it across the country. Those entities had a sale of the property and assets from one to the other, and we're just simply substituting under a novation agreement the new owner for the owner. There's nothing left for them to do. The only change really that impacts us is it's a different entity that will now receive the incentive payments.
Council Abbott.
And so the agreement is basically exactly the same,
Exactly.
except it just has new people, new entities
Good.
involved, so nothing changed. Yeah, I had to look up what a novation agreement was too. So
I still.
I thought it wouldn't be an innovation agreement, but anyway, so, yeah, that was my only question.
Madam President.
Yes, I just had a question. This is in District 7.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, and looking up and we're all going about the novation agreement, I guess it just shows a testament that it was a great economic development for the city and for the area by this type of investors or this type of group want to come over. And I know they do have some, but it's still open. There's a larger piece of property there that I guess now they would be able to, I won't say develop it, but to get people to come in and do business.
It's doing very well. If the finance department would allow me to state how much folks pay in taxes in a public meeting, you would be very pleased with it. We're doing very well.
That's good. Thank you. Okay. I don't have any questions. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 13, a first amendment to the redevelopment project and funding agreement, Northside Park Project with Northside Redevelopment LLC, under which the redevelopment project and funding agreement for the Caraway Hospital redevelopment project will be amended to update the schedule for the demolition of buildings on the site and to provide that Northside Redevelopment LLC will retain title to property known as blocks E, F, and G in order to facilitate residential development on such property.
Hold on.
Second.
Good afternoon. Lisa Smiley, Mayor's Office. We have several representatives here who can speak to this item, but I'll give you a brief overview and then I'll introduce the rest of the people that are here. Mr. Stanley is standing with me. He's responsible for drafting the amendment that's today. So back in December of 2020, the city approved a redevelopment and funding agreement with, I'm calling it Caraway, but it's really Northside Redevelopment. And it was for the redevelopment of the Caraway site, which is, they were gonna name it the Star. So nice, really fun name. But we know this site as the former Caraway Hospital, and it's been vacant and blighted in our city for some time. So I know there was a lot of excitement about the plans that were presented for this project. And over the project was approved in December, and then shortly thereafter, pandemic happened. So in spite of that, there has been a lot of work that has taken place on the site. And they can tell you more about some of the cleanup that they've done. They've also provided you with some handouts. I'll share. Thank you. Their copies look better than ours.
Thank you.
They show some before and after pictures. And they also show some of the exhibits that are referenced in the agreement. Essentially, what this amendment that's doing, that you're considering today is doing, is determining that the city will not try to retain an interest in blocks E, F, and G. Those blocks will be redeveloped as residential property. And the developer is committing to a schedule to demolish several buildings that are a part of this site. So those buildings, you can see there's a map. I'll help you turn to it. There's several properties. Yeah, right here. You see here?
Yeah.
The properties that are in red are the ones that are going to be demolished by the developer.
And so what about the ones in green?
Those are going to be restored or renovated.
Okay,
so
or things you could
part of
say,
the redevelopment.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Parking decks.
So the points that I want to make is that to honor this First Amendment, there's no additional financial commitment being asked of the city. We're just asking you to consider this demolition schedule and to consider that the redeveloper will retain interest in blocks E, F, and G, which they're prepared. They have someone standing by who's prepared to advance, I would say, development, residential development of those blocks.
Question. I guess, what does the time look like now, since the demolition will start at the end of this month?
Timeline for demolition.
Well, just, I guess timeline in general, because I think originally it was supposed to start in, was it December, maybe, 2021?
It was, yes. And so in this time, as Chief Smiley was saying, we have done a lot of the cleanup as far as the landscaping, the debris removal. We also took this out to bid with a number of demolition contractors trying to competitively build this down. COVID slowed us down a little bit with that, but we've now moved forward and we're ready to start with the demolition contractor, pending permits, of course. His original demolition, timing for the entire thing was 9 months. So we put 10 months in there just as we're getting started. But that time frame is in the amendment to hold us to that demolition time. Oh, I'm sorry. Becky Carpenter.
Okay. Okay. Madam President?
Yes, could you help me with the diagram that we have? Are the E, F, and G shown here at all? Or they are?
On the next handout, on the next handout. Let's see, let me go back for it.
I was looking for EF and G too, so.
And they are just
Chief Smiley, I have these if I may.
Okay.
So this is a site plan that shows the full redevelopment.
Yes,
So,
nice colorful one too.
Perfect.
so the site goes from 13th Street up to 20th.
Sorry.
Lots E, F, and G are on the northern side of the site. If you're familiar with the Caraway Hospital, the building that has the star is right here. And then this is that large parking deck. It's the 6-story parking deck that's on
Yeah.
17.
Okay.
From 17th northward, during our master planning, we always contemplated that as being residential. We wanted to taper back into the surrounding area.
I'm sorry, which is, they want to be residential?
E, F, and G. So these are going to be single-family residential from here up.
Gotcha.
There's a more dense mixed-use development in the middle of the site, but we want it to be residential from there so that it transitions back into the rest of the neighborhood. So the original agreement did have the city holding E, F, and G for a period until that was ready to be redeveloped. But as Chief Smiley already said, we're ready to move forward with that earlier than anticipated. So it simplifies matters not to have the city in that chain of title. And to Councilor Abbott's point, not to complicate city ownership of property. And we'll continue to hold the responsibility for those blocks, as we've been doing with everything else, with the ongoing maintenance of those and getting those redeveloped with single-family housing. Frankly, we're excited to bring some of the first new construction to this side with infill housing on the north side of Birmingham.
When will that housing be ready?
So that, with that, we don't have that purchase and sale agreement signed yet because we needed to get through this step with the city first. But we anticipate them being able to start by the middle of the year.
Okay. It's like 2023 maybe. That's good. Do you have any more?
I'll ask you.
Okay, Councilor Abbott.
So you're keeping all the parking decks, is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. There are 4 parking decks on the site, and we're keeping all of them. We want to rehab them and put them back into service. They're usable, and it provides about 1,900 parking spaces that can help to alleviate some of the parking pressures in the area.
Okay, and the single-family homes, you're going to like find a developer that does single-family homes? and
Yes, ma'am.
They're
We're not
gonna,
a single-family developer. so
yeah,
we
they're
can-
gonna be in charge, so somebody else could be working over here soon.
Absolutely.
And are y'all gonna implode any of those buildings, or are they going to tear them down the old-fashioned way?
It'll be the old-fashioned way. It won't be that dramatic, largely because they're going to be recycling material as they go, so there isn't just going to be a massive implosion. In fact, when we first start, the abatement will actually be not dramatic at all because it'll be going on inside the buildings. As you can imagine, there's a lot of asbestos inside the buildings given the age, so there needs to be a step of hazardous material abatement done first. Then the demolition can start. That way you don't have contaminated material being mixed in with all the rest of everything. So the contaminated materials will be surgically removed. Then the buildings will start to come down. They'll just have heavy equipment out there and just start chewing on the buildings.
I'm just sorry this couldn't be done by the World Games, but I guess life is not fair. Okay, that's it for me.
Yeah, my hope is just that it's affordable housing to make sure that, you know, if someone wants to, from the neighborhood wants to move into it, they can afford to do it.
And I will point out, this is attainable housing going in right here.
Oh,
That's
that's
one of the
good.
first,
Good.
so yes, that's one of the buildings that we're able to reuse. It's the
Good.
former hospital building where the star is located,
Mhm.
and that's going to be attainable housing.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Yes, we wanted the site to be mixed income across the site and have a number of different housing choices.
Perfect, okay. If there are any more questions, there has been a motion and a second. Has there been a motion? Second?
Yes.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14, an ordinance to amend the general fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022 by transferring 13,000 from economic incentives, Lakeview Antisocial, and appropriating 13,000 to economic incentives, Children's Hospital.
Move the item.
Okay,
Look, it's, what's the point is a simple transfer, one line item that we have, should grant a lot of out of cost areas, that resides in Lakeview. That item for 37,547 program for them. I guess, still text back coming in with a word, we have a balance that's left on it, so we need that remainder funding to offset the account that we under budgeted for. So that's the basis of this. We're using a under budget line item to take care of a over budget line. Simple.
Council Abbott.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just wondered what we were doing.
It's just, the church and hospital line item. And so we can make up that issues.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President.
And this makes up the full difference. You don't have to go pull it anywhere else. Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that item passes. And then item 17, a resolution pursuant to section 11-40-1 and section 11-47-16 Codes of Alabama, 1975, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver an agreement with Jones Valley Urban Farm, also known as Jones Valley Teaching Farm, in an amount not to exceed $10,000. The provider will facilitate management of and offer public access to garden facilities in order to provide urban farming educational opportunities for marginalized and vulnerable citizens of Birmingham. The provider will advertise and have media releases of the services provided in the urban farming program that are part of the urban farming strategy within the city of Birmingham.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay.
I know this item for the council. I think.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't say that.
Mm-mm.
Correct. Document that before we correct item. Person for one. It's a shared agreement between the councilors.
Okay.
$5,000. The funding for 001 042 00 527 014.
And the press.
I got to stop. Say.
Okay, thanks for clicking in.
Because I think I saw on the council agenda the funding source, okay. But as long as we can-
Yeah, there was just a discussion at the council meeting of whose money it was, and no one seemed to know for sure.
Yes, yes, yeah. So, okay. All right. Well, there's
Good
been,
with it.
y'all good, okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That item passes. Okay, the next Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be on Monday, May 23rd at 3:30 PM in the council chambers. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.